The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, the mother of the sons of Zebedee came up to Jesus with her sons, and kneeling before him, she asked him for something. And he said to her, "What do you want?" She said to him, "Command that these two sons of mine may sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your kingdom." But Jesus answered, "You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the chalice that I am to drink?" They said to him, "We are able." He said to them, "You will drink my chalice, but to sit at my right hand and at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father." And when the 10 heard it, they were indignant at the two brothers. But Jesus called them to him and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. It shall not be so among you, but whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be your slave, even as the Son of Man came, not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." The Gospel of the Lord.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I was about to say good morning. It's good afternoon. Good afternoon, folks. I hope you're all having a blessed time in Medjugorje, a joyful time, because this is a place of healing, it's a place of joy, and it's a place of reconciliation with God, with Our Lady's maternal intercession. A couple of weeks ago at home in Donegal, I go to confession regularly. I recommend it for everybody. It's great. I went to a priest in the diocese for confession. I just happened to be passing his house, and I said, "Do you know what? I'll pop in for confession." A very nice priest he was too. I won't name him, but a very nice priest, a gentle priest. That's the way priests are meant to be with people in the confessional, gentle. I knew this guy was gentle, so I said, "He'll be gentle with me. Hopefully he'll take it easy on me." He did take it easy on me, but he also challenged me, and he was very encouraging towards me, because that's what confession is meant to be about. By the way, do you know why the priest wears red on the Apostles' Feast Day? You know that, don't you? To symbolize the blood spilt for you. Yeah? You come here, a great price has been paid for you, that you can come here. Sorry, just a side note. But anyway, going back to the priest and the confession. So I confessed my sins, and he said, he's mentioned something to me that I remember hearing about in school many years ago. He said, there's a Japanese art, he said, kintsugi it's called, whereby the Japanese, if they have a broken vase or a broken jug or a broken cup or whatever, that they glue it back together, but they paint the cracks with gold to remind them. It's a sign of humility in Japanese culture, to remind them to remind the person that they broke this thing. This thing was broken. And the priest very gently said to me, he said, "Do you know, Father," he said, "you're like the pot, the vase that's been broken. The Lord, He glues you back together again with gold in confession. Not just glues you, but with gold. In other words, you become more priceless even after the breakage, after the sin." And I thought that was beautiful. That stayed with me for weeks. And I took that into adoration, and I prayed with it. And I said, "Lord, whatever brokenness is in my heart, help me now. And Lord, glue me with a bit of gold, please." Who wouldn't want that? Do I look golden? I don't know. I know I look broken, I know that much. So that was grand. I was praying away with it. And you see, Our Lady has a way of doing things with people, especially through the power of the rosary too. So, the morning we were leaving for Medjugorje, I was my Weetabix and my banana and my cup of tea, very basic breakfast. I was getting it all together. And I always listen to sometimes a little podcast, a Catholic podcast, or sometimes a Catholic YouTube video when I'm making my breakfast. And I had it on. And there was a man from Northern Ireland, and he was doing a video for Tom, who does the videos here in Medjugorje. And he was talking about, Tom said, what would you say to people about coming back to Medjugorje, coming back to God? And Tom starts to talk about, guess what? Kintsugi. Sorry, that didn't look too professional there. Sorry about that. My notes fell. Kintsugi. The Japanese art of putting things back together, but painting the cracks with gold to remind. So kintsugi, he mentioned this. This guy mentioned this the morning I was leaving for Medjugorje. And I said, what's the chances of the Japanese art of kintsugi being mentioned inside 5 weeks in Donegal? My goodness, Our Lady's communicating with us. She was communicating with me. And I think she was telling me, what she was telling me was to get my act in order, go out there and get those cracks glued together with gold in the sacramental confession. You see, in the first reading today, and I'm getting to the point, people say, get to the point, Father. Oh, I will get to the point. I'm getting to the point, yes. We have this treasure, it says, in the first reading today, we have this treasure in earthen vessels. We are pieces of pottery. Pottery can be broken so easily. The world today, Satan today tries to convince people that they are mini gods. You decide, you can make up your own rules, you can do whatever you want. But that's not the way it's meant to be. We break, and we break others. So we break our own earthenware vessel in ourselves. We break ourselves by our sin, by our bad choices. And we also break other people, too, by our sinfulness towards them, our sinful actions, or whatever. Satan has Irish people exactly where he wants them in these times, because people come into confession and they say, as Father Leon, quote Father Leon, maybe I did this and maybe I did that. Well, either you did it or you didn't do it, like you know. And Father Leon's answer is, maybe I absolve you and maybe I don't. Sorry, Father Leon, for stealing a line. I was running out of ideas. But you have cracks in you. I hate to say it, but you have. You're half cracked. Maybe you're fully cracked. But you come to Medjugorje, and the main activity in Medjugorje is one of the main activities. The main activity is Mass. Secondary activity, one but still fairly primary, is to go to confession. And that's where you are painted with gold, put together again. And you see, and when you go home, you're reminded, just like you see the Japanese vase painted with gold, to see all the cracks in the vase, you're reminded that you have been broken and that you can be broken again. So therefore, we must always be on our toes. We must always be on our toes, in a state of alert, in a state of spiritual alert, because we are never finished. We are never the finished article. And Satan loves to tell Irish people that they are the finished article. I hear it from so many. I heard confessions last night. People were telling me, I go to daily Mass, Father. They're looking for a medal, like, going to daily Mass, Father, and I'm doing my adoration, Father, but it's been 2 years since I've been to confession. I'm thinking, well, you're wasting your time going to confession, going to adoration, going to Mass, because you're not fully disposed to the graces, because your soul's not fully cleaned through confession. So that line stood out at me, the first reading today. We are earthen vessels. And come to Medjugorje, remind yourself that you are an earthen vessel, but also, by the same token, remind yourself that God paints you with gold. The gold comes from the sacramental power of confession, and it's so gentle and it's so beautiful. The Lord is so happy. I was so happy last night sitting there and seeing the queue of people. Not that I like to see people standing in the heat suffering, but you know that there's an end point to the standing in the queue, suffering in the heat. You know that people are getting their souls cleaned. So that's the first point I wish to make today. Kintsugi, you can look it up on Google. I bet you there'll be people Googling it now. Kintsugi. It's beautiful. It's a lovely, isn't it a lovely analogy? You You see, in the West, what do we do in the West if we crack a vase? What do? We glue it together just, and we pretend it was never broken. Isn't that the human condition? We pretend we were never sinners. We pretend that there's nothing bad about, nothing broken about me. That's Satan has you. It's dropped again, my goodness. Satan has you exactly where he wants you. It's like a chessboard. He's got you exactly where he wants you. He has you trapped, and he's delighted. So anybody here who's putting off the idea of going to confession, please know that you will be painted with sacramental gold if you go to confession. And open yourself. And go into Google Catholic Examination of Conscience. Check out the list of sins. Go into, normally they're mostly American websites. They're fantastic, American Catholic websites. Go in and look up the list of sins. Have a piece of paper, write down your sins in accordance with the list that's put in front of you. And by the way, please learn the act of contrition. How many people do not know the act of contrition? Please learn the act of contrition before you come into confession. And if you don't know it, don't be kicking yourself either. If you forgot to learn it, ask the priest to help you, and he'll be very gentle with you, I'm sure. The second point I want to make today, and I'm finishing on this. So we've got St. James's Day. You're probably wondering why I didn't mention St. James yet. St. James was the first of the apostles to be martyred. Did you know that? He was martyred. He was beheaded by King Herod Agrippa I. Another little trivia treasure there for you, for pub quizzes. He was the first of the apostles to be martyred. He was there with Jesus on Mount Tabor on Transfiguration Day. He was there in the garden when he slept with the other apostles on the night Jesus was arrested. So he's very central to the story of Jesus, Jesus' earthly story. And James and John are looking for places in heaven. You know, see, isn't it typical of the pilgrim too that comes to Medjugorje? We're always looking for things. What am I looking for? If I was at home this week, what would I be looking for? Tickets for the All-Ireland final. Because we're going to give Kerry a good smacking. Sorry, folks. Sorry to any Kerry people here if I've alienated you. We should never take sides. But the mother, she's pushy. This woman's obviously very pushy. The mother of Zebedee, the sons of Zebedee. And she goes to Jesus, look after my boys, will you? They're kind of going with you this last while, and they've been looking out for you. Look, you look after. A bit like going to a TD, looking for something. Will you tar the road? You know, will you tar the road going up to the house, going to your local politician? We're always looking for things. And what the mother, Jesus tells the mother, that's not mine to grant. But he says, you know, are your sons prepared to follow the pathway that I've taken? And she says, yes. Well, he said, Jesus then looks after them. He looks after them after that. He doesn't guarantee them central seats, just like in Croke Park. He doesn't guarantee them central seats, but he guarantees them. He says, you follow me and I will reward you 100-fold in one other part of the gospel, he says. Those who've left property, family, brothers, sisters to follow me will be rewarded. But Jesus says the same thing to you today. You're coming to Medjugorje, you're looking for blessings, you're looking for a cure for your sick sister, you're looking for a job for your brother, your daughter wants to get her driving test, you're looking for that, you're looking for this, you're looking for that, you're looking for the other. Some of you may be looking for All-Ireland tickets, I don't know. Maybe you're going home before the All-Ireland final. You're looking for different things. But you cannot get it unless you walk the walk. It's not enough to talk the talk. You must walk the walk. And that ain't easy. It isn't easy, folks, to walk the walk. To walk with Jesus every day of your life. Are you prepared to drink of Jesus' chalice? In other words, are you prepared to walk with me? Are you prepared to carry your cross? If you're prepared to do that, then you will be looked after. So, what does that mean? And I'm finishing on this point. You'll be glad to hear that. What does it mean? How do you drink of the chalice that Jesus offers you? What do you do when you go home? You go home and you bring the spirit of Medjugorje home with you. We see what happens is people come out to Medjugorje and they've got holy faces on all week, butter wouldn't melt, and they're lighting candles and they're going to confession and they're doing their thing and they're touching the statue of the risen Christ and they're going up the mountains and they're climbing Apparition Hill. But then they're going home and they keep it selfishly. Keep their own little snug Catholicism. I'll do my daily mass and I'll go to confession and I won't get involved in anything else. Wrong. Set up prayer groups. Get involved in a prayer group. Get involved in your parish. A lot of priests in Ireland are in their 70s now. They need help. Get involved. Pray for vocations. Set up a holy hour for vocations. Young men. There's young men here who are called to the priesthood today. Don't be sitting on the fence. Go home if you feel called to the priesthood. Listen, get off the fence and sign up if you feel the Lord's calling you. There's young people here who are meant to get married. Get off the fence and, for goodness sakes, give everybody a day out. These are the things. They're only some examples of what you can do to drink of the chalice, to walk the walk. Because Jesus is looking at you. Our Lady's looking at you, and she's saying they're going home, and they've got their own little private Catholicism going on, little bubble, little comforting thing, and I've got my own little statue of Medjugorje in my bedroom, and I've got my picture, and I've got this, and I've got that, and everything's nice and snug. That's not Catholicism. That's a private indulgence. It's a selfish indulgence, because you are meant to drink of the chalice. So this week, two things you're meant to learn from this Mass. Paint yourself in gold with the sacraments of confession. Heal. Be healed in confession. It is a healing sacrament. The second point, don't be keeping your own private little Catholic thing going. Spread the word. Go up into the rooftops. Shout it out. Men, carry your rosary beads. How many men do not carry rosary beads? They're afraid. They're afraid of being seen of carrying. Real men carry rosary beads, lads. Women, get involved too. Get your men out, kick their backsides and get them out to prayer groups. And get yourselves out to prayer groups too, please. Because that is the spirit of Medjugorje. And to be a pilgrim, and the final definition of pilgrim, and I'm finishing on this point, definitely on this point, peregrinus in the Latin is the Latin word for pilgrim, which means a stranger, a foreigner. And we are strangers and foreigners to God. Why? Because we're only going to Mass part-time. He doesn't know us fully. Some of us haven't been to confession. We're strangers to him. A stranger or a foreigner on a journey to a holy place. Does that not surely summarize the meaning of what Medjugorje is? We are strangers until we come in and reconcile with the Lord and get to know him. Get to know him in adoration as well. We are journeying onto a holy place, and the holy place is Medjugorje. You are pilgrims and you are VIPs, and the Lord, through the intercession today of St. James, is hoping that you will walk the walk with him, and that if you are open, that you will admit your brokenness and that you will go in and be painted with the sacramental gold of confession. May God bless each and every one of you this day. And do Google how do you pronounce it again? Kintsugi. Sorry, I was afraid to get the thing out. Do Google kintsugi. Please do. I was looking up at it this last few days, and I saw some beautiful pictures of broken Japanese bowls being put together by gold. It's really lovely. It's a beautiful form of art, and you can become the most beautiful form of art under the Lord's eyes as well. Keep it lit, and listen, say a wee prayer for Donegal for the weekend. God bless you all.